Okay, we're going to change 4x plus 2y equals negative 14 into slope-intercept form. Okay, slope-intercept form, remember, is y equals mx plus b. So basically what we're doing is we're going to take this equation and solve for y. Okay, it's going to look a little bit different to you. You haven't done anything like this before. But you do know that to solve for a variable, you want to look to see what's, like if it's a two-stepper, if you have a number multiplied to the variable and added to the variable, you want to get rid of the added part first. Okay, so in this problem, okay, we're solving for y. Okay, 2 is multiplied to y, and 4x, the whole thing, 4x is being added to 2y. Okay, so what we want to do, we want to get rid of what's added first. Okay, we want to get rid of the added 4x. Okay, and this is what you've never done before. We're going to subtract not just a number, we're going to subtract 4x from both sides. Okay, so we're going to write minus 4x minus 4x. The 4x minus 4x goes out. Okay, we're left with 2y on the left. And on the right-hand side, okay, we have a negative 4x and we have a negative 14. Okay, but do you notice that those are not like terms? Okay, we cannot combine those together. We just need to write them down again. Okay, but when I write these down, I'm going to put the x term first. So I'm going to write it as a negative 4x minus 14. Okay, so I have 2 times y, 2y, is equal to negative 4x minus 14. The reason I put the x part first is when I'm all done, I want the middle part of my equation to have the x in front after it. So I just want it to be there. Okay, so now I need to get rid of my multiply 2. Okay, I'm still solving for y. I want to get rid of my multiply 2. Okay, to get rid of a multiply 2, I'm going to divide by 2. Okay, I got to divide the other side by 2. Okay, this is something else. It's a little different than anything you've ever done before. We need to divide all 3 parts by 2. Okay, because the right-hand side has 2 parts to it. We have to divide everything by 2. I promise this will get easier the more you practice this. So 2 divided by 2 turns into 1y, which is y. Okay, last thing we need to do is to simplify. Okay, negative 4x divided by 2. Just think of this as negative 4 divided by 2 with an x attached. Okay, negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2, and attach the x. And then we have a negative 14 divided by 2, because remember, a negative and a subtraction is basically the same thing. A negative 14 divided by 2 is a negative 7. Okay, so in slope-intercept form, this becomes y equals negative 2x minus 7. Okay, so quickly, we got rid of the added 4x first by subtracting 4x from each side. Okay, that left us with 2y on the left. When we rewrote the right-hand side, we just put these two terms together, side by side, but we wanted to put the x part first. So we wrote negative 4x minus 14. Okay, now we want to get rid of the multiply 2 by dividing, but we need to divide all 3 parts by 2. Okay, so we get y. Okay, negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2, so that's a negative 2x. Negative 14 divided by 2 is a negative 7. Okay, we'll work on these. We'll get this. But it looks really funky at first, but we're going to get this.